Tony Rome Live.
What's up, family? Welcome to another Tony Rome show. If this is your first time coming on this channel, can you please smash up the likes? Hit the like button, please. Please subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. Hit that like button, please, as you come in. Hit that like button. Let's see who we got here first. Of course, we got Mr. Joe. Oh, we got Joseph. Joe, what's up, man? How are you doing, brother? How's it going, man? Yeah, we gotta chop it up. Maybe tomorrow, when I get from work, we could chop it up. We could talk on Instagram. We got a lot to talk about, brother. It is good to see you, man. It is so good to see you. Wow, we got a lot to talk about. Smooth Life. What's up, nephew? Smooth Life is in the house. Smooth. Oh, Marcus in too. What's up, Marcus? What's up, Marcus? Marcus is the man, y'all. Marcus is the man. Good to see you, Smooth Life. Smooth Life. Brother, we got a lot going on, man. There's a lot of geopolitics stuff going on right now. Israel and Iran is in a war right now. They are really hitting each other, man. Yeah, it's getting pretty nasty. This is something that's been going on for a while, though. This is like, you know, they've been threatening each other for a while. So now Israel's finally got enough courage to attack Iran because of its nuclear facilities. They think that they're going to enrich uranium to make a nuclear bomb. So Israel and Netanyahu and all of them, they're very uncomfortable of what's going on. So it's like a preemptive strike. Yeah, check this video out, man. Check this out.
A blinding flash as waves of explosions blast Iran's capital overnight. Here, a terrified Iranian woman films from her window, then down on the street. They are hitting. They hit 3 or 4 back to back, she says.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival.
This morning, an apartment building still burning. The attacks hitting residential areas, killing Iran's 3 most senior military leaders and targeting its nuclear program. Here, thick black smoke rises above the Natanz nuclear facility. This video, Israel says, shows their military simultaneously taking out Iranian defenses. More than 10 locations outside the capital were hit, Iran's state media said, and multiple sites in Tehran itself. The Secretary of State releasing a short statement calling the action unilateral, writing, "We are not involved," while Israel's Prime Minister in a televised address in English saying there is more to come.
This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
And this morning, Iran launching a counterattack. Passengers at Tel Aviv airport stranded, hospitals preparing underground facilities, while ordinary Israelis stock up on essentials, fearing what might come next. Still, many saying they support the action.
We had no choice. I really feel like this was a last-minute decision because we had no choice.
And this morning, President Trump posting that he told Iran to make a deal, but they, quote, couldn't get it done. The president writing, certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and adding, Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left.
Man, this is going to be a mess. Let me advise you guys, if you don't, get you some gas, fill up your gas tanks right now, because the price of oil could go way up if Iran blocks the port of Hormuz. That's where all the ships and stuff and the freighters pass through that port. If Iran stops that area, then you talk about the price of oil is going to go way, way up. the price of oil is going to go way up. And I hope, you know what? I pray. See, the reason why, hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, brother? The reason why I talk about this stuff, because it does affect our travel. If we decide to go travel to another country, if we want to go to Brazil, Pattaya, Thailand, Colombia, or any of those countries, geopolitics is really important. So we know what's going on in these other countries. That's why I bring you all this type of content. Yeah, what's up? What's up? And the Diddy trial, you know what? I'm thinking that Diddy, I think he's going to beat this trial. I don't talk about that type of stuff. I know there's people that actually do that's really good at that type of stuff. But talking about Diddy, I think he's going to beat it. I'm going to tell you the reason why I think Diddy's going to beat that trial. It's because they really haven't showed no proof of racketeering or sex trafficking. Me personally, I haven't seen anything. It just her word against his word, and they talk about he did this, he disrespected this person, he did that. But when you have in racketeering and sex trafficking, you have conspirators that work along with that. You see what I'm saying? That aided in that type of stuff, bringing people in trucks and chains and chaining them up to their base in his basement and all that type of stuff, But I've been following this trial, and I have not seen anything. I believe he's going to beat the trial. I hope he does beat it too. This is a humiliation ritual. That his case is just to shut him down in the rap industry. Well, I think also, I really think that I think that the Baggio thing has a lot to do with it. I'm not going to talk too much about it on YouTube, but I know that he had a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the Baggio, and you got some heavy hitters that own that company, so. Oh, Willie Brown, you are the man. Oh, man. Willie Brown, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Here, let me give you another cheer, man. Let me give you another cheer. That is to you, Willie Brown. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you for Thank you for the cash up, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. You are the reason why I keep coming out here every week, man, to bring you all this information, man. I think it really makes my heart feel so good, man. Because sometimes I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes you be ready to give up. Sometimes I feel that the channel is not growing as fast as it should grow. You know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate that, man. Still getting ready to work tonight, going to Thailand. Oh, we going to Thailand in October and maybe a trip before. That is great, man. That is great. I did talk to Barbie again today, and she's wondering what's taking me so long. I told her that I will be out there between July and August for sure. It's just that the money situation is really, really horrible. My money situation is horrible. I have never been away from Colombia this long of a time. I usually go there either twice a year or once a year. You know what I'm saying? But this inflation, like for example, I had to get a root canal. Okay. Yeah, I reached 1,600 subscribers. Yes, I did. Yeah, yes. So do you think that Iranian government will survive this war? They put fear in their hearts by taking out a few of their top military people. I'm gonna tell you what I think was going to happen in this war. Let me see. Yeah, I reached 1,600 subscribers. Yes. Thank God. Thank you all, man. I appreciate it. Let's see, sending you a cash up. Yeah, thank you so much again, Willie Brown, for the cash up, man. Thank you so much, brother. Let's see. Yeah, thanks a lot. Man, there's a lot of gnats flying around here. All of a sudden, doing my live stream, got these gnats everywhere. God, dog. I haven't seen nothing all day today. Now they're flying on my live stream. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get back to your question. Okay, do you think that the Iranian government, if you guys have any questions about anything, just leave them in the comment section, please. Let's say, do you think the Iranian government will survive this war? They put fear in their hearts by taking out a few top military commanders. You know what? I don't know how far this is going to go. And I really hope that it doesn't go too far. It could be tit for tat, you know what I'm saying? They hit them because they did this, they do this all the time. Matter of fact, at the beginning of this year, you know, they had a brief fight, you know what I'm saying? Iran sent missiles over to Iran sent missiles over to Israel. Israel got they got this thing called the dome that protects them against these incoming missiles. Then they send missiles back and they hit Israel hit targets. So they've been doing this for years. Now, do I think that this is going to be the war of all wars that they've been talking about? What's going to happen? I don't know. I hope it doesn't, because I'm gonna tell you something. Iran is part of BRICS, okay, and Iran and China and Russia has a very close relationship. So I don't know now I'm gonna be honest with you. The U.S. is kind of staying away. They're providing the protection. You know, they got the Iron Dome. They send these missiles and things to help protect incoming missiles from Iran. I know we got aircraft carriers out there that protects Israel from these oncoming missiles. But if the U.S. start hitting targets too, then I really believe that you'll start seeing other countries come in the defense of Iran. That's why I think it could happen. I pray that it don't go that far. I pray that, you know, they both okay, let's simmer down. Let's come up with some type of deal. We don't have to wipe each other out, you know what I'm saying? And we still got the situation in Ukraine and Russia. We still got that issue going. So you got two situations going on at the same time. President Trump got his hands full. And I know he's been trying to make peace, though. He doesn't want war. President Trump doesn't want war. War is bad for business. He's a businessman. He doesn't want it. So I hope that that they do something about this. You know, I hope they come together. I'm talking about both sides. I hope what's happening in the Middle East come together, and I hope what's happening in the East with Russia and Ukraine, I hope they would be able to come together, because this is real. It could get out of control, you know. Because let me tell you something. For a minute, the fighting between Ukraine and Russia was getting so bad, it was spilling over the border of Poland, because Poland is on the border of Ukraine and Russia. And then they had to scramble jets and stuff, you know, because Russia was getting too close to the border, you know. So I said, I hope they don't drag Poland into this mess. So that's the problem that you run into in these situations, that it can overspill into other countries. Now, you got geopoliticians that can explain this a little bit better than I can, but I'm just giving you just what's on the surface, you know. So, yeah. That's what I think, Chris. That's what I really believe. Yep. So, okay, we're gonna go to the next one. We got a lot of stuff to cover today, man. Now, the next topic is, oh my God, did you guys hear about the plane in India? What happened about the 787, the the Boeing Dreamliner. I think it's a 787 that crashed in India. That was a sad situation, a real sad situation. I think over 240 people were unalive in that accident. Let's see. You got the marathon to talk about. You got it. Yeah. I'm just trying to, get you guys, just keep y'all informed of what's going on to help you out. You know what I'm saying? I think the plane crashed into something, but I don't remember what it crashed into. It crashed on top of a building. Yes, they had one survivor. Yes, they had one survivor that survived the crash. He sure did.
First, the timing. It was almost immediately after takeoff, while the plane was still... The two strangest things about the crash of Air India Flight 171 are the when and the how. First, the timing. It was almost immediately after takeoff, while the plane was still trying to climb. I'll show that to you. But then, look at how the plane crashed. That gradual and, to untrained eyes, almost a controlled descent. It looks more like a landing than a crash, until the terribly large explosion. Smoke and fire filling the air.
Thick black smoke could be seen billowing from the wreckage.
It was carrying 242 people. India's home minister says there is a sole survivor.
There's a lot we know.
I'm going to tell you guys what I think would cause the crash,
let's tackle those in order, starting with takeoff.
Okay.
We'll start zoomed out, and I'll show you more and more detail as we go. India, the western part of the country in Gujarat, the city of Ahmedabad, and this is timing. It was almost...
Yeah. I heard about that. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a video on that. That happened in Las Vegas. That was sad. That was a sad situation. Yeah. Another YouTuber alive. Yeah, that was between a guy named Lenny the Legend and Manny. They had beef between each other. And we're going to talk about that. Matter of fact, I have a video coming out about that this week. So y'all watch out for it, okay? Yeah, that was sad. And you know what I'm going to talk about that situation? I want to jump off from everything else we're talking about tonight. But his wife was unalived. And she had nothing to do with it. So Manny unalived him and his wife. And that's why, I was going to talk about this to my female subscribers. Be careful what man you mess around with. Because women, they like these guys, these roughnecks, these guys with this type of swag and all that stuff. And those are the ones that get them unalive. If you with somebody, if you with someone that got beef with somebody or that lived that type of lifestyle, you better stay away from them. I've seen this happen so many times, but we're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that on my next video. Yeah, especially if they're from the hood. Yeah, especially if they're from the hood. Yeah, that was sad because she tried to. I saw the video is when Manny, because what happened was they were okay. Let's talk about this just a little bit before we get back into the plane. I see y'all asking about this. What happened was Lenny the Legend. Matter of fact, he has a YouTube channel. They both have a YouTube channel, and they were just beefing between each other, and they were actually putting strikes on each other's video because one person would say something bad about the other person, and they would contact YouTube. YouTube would put a strike on his channel, and they go, and then it's like vice versa. They kept just going back and forth. So what happened was Lenny the Legend and his wife was down there by I think what's the name of that hotel called Baggio? They was filming in front of the Baggio Hotel. I think that's what they call it. And Manny was, because I think he's from Las Vegas, and he was just driving. Actually, he was actually driving around looking for him. He was looking for him. He was driving around in his car looking for Lenny the Legend. But what happened was when he did a live, that's why I don't do live streams in Colombia at my hotel. I never do that because I do not want to let people know where you live. That could be very dangerous. But he was, him and his wife, Lenny the Legend, was streaming in front of the Dibaggio Hotel. And that's where Manny knew where he was. And he walked up to him and unalived him. So he shot several times, hitting him. Then the wife tried to come between both of them and end up unaliving her. That was sad. That was really sad. Let's see. Yeah, the Bellagio Hotel. Yeah, that's the name of it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's where he was streaming. He was streaming. Him and his wife was. That's the only way that Manny knew where he was, because he was streaming from that location. If he wasn't streaming for that location, I believe he could have still been alive. But I'm gonna tell you, YouTubers, any of you all that do that stuff, do not stream in front of your hotels or where you living. You know, if you're a content creator, I never do that because, believe it or not, I have had death threats on my channel, especially with me and that girl I had like a falling out. That Colombian girl y'all seen, the one that, you know, that went crazy on me on that video that you guys seen. And some of the wrong people actually saw that. And it was like a psychopath, you know, talking about I mistreated her and, you know, saying I'm gonna come and get you and stuff. Yeah, people crazy, man. People are crazy. It shows your location and people can pull you up. Yeah, they can pull right up on you, man. Yeah, they pull right up on Lenny the Legend. Manny pulled right up on me. He's crazy too. He's a crazy dude. Yeah, but I'm going to do a video on that. It's going to be a warning to my female subscribers to be careful who you date, you know. So let's get right back to this thing with the plane. I'm going to tell you what I think would happen.
The two strangest things about the crash of Air India Flight 171 are the when and the how. First, the timing. It was almost immediately after takeoff, while the plane was still trying to climb. I'll show that to you. But then, look at how the plane crashed. That gradual and, to untrained eyes, almost a controlled descent. It looks more like a landing than a crash, until the terribly large explosion. Smoke and fire filling the air.
Thick black smoke could be seen billowing from the wreckage.
It was carrying 242 people. India's home minister says there is a sole survivor.
There's a lot we know, but even more we don't. So let's tackle those in order, starting with takeoff. We'll start zoomed out, and I'll show you more and more detail as we go. India, the western part of the country in Gujarat, the city of Ahmedabad, and this is where we find the international airport, where Air India Flight 171 took off. There's nothing unusual about any of that. This flight takes off almost every single day. Ahmedabad to London, call it around a 10-hour flight. Except we can see from online flight tracking that this flight on this day, June 12th, around 1:38 p.m. local time, it would taxi onto the main runway facing southwest. But here is where we lose the signal, apparently at 625 feet, just at the edge of the runway. The flight would last somewhere around, maybe even under 1 minute.
A packed Air India plane bound for England crashing on takeoff.
We can see from photos like this from India's Central Police Force, the site of the crash. Now, take a look at this video, one of many posted online. This was posted immediately after the crash. Now, this is a slightly different vantage point. The buildings look kind of similar, but it's different. But I can also find this spot for you, because if you look here at the bottom left corner, and I'll zoom in a little bit here, you can see this graffiti, this orange half circle, but also the blue text just beneath it. So that is roughly this spot here on Google Street View. We can see this graffiti is exactly the same. I've checked, I've looked very closely. But I'm thinking roughly this vantage point is where that video was taken. The plane crashing just beyond this wall, just beyond this set of buildings, into the buildings behind that we showed you in the photo. The reason I'm showing you all of this is for 3 reasons, actually. 1, so that you can check my work, if you like. 2, to explain why we don't know how many people died. There were, authorities say, 242 people on board that plane. But how many were on the ground in any of these buildings in the middle of a residential area? But reason number 3, I show you to remind you how close this was to the airport. The distance from the crash site to the edge of the runway, that's about 1.5 kilometers. A Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which this plane was, could conceivably have covered that distance at takeoff speeds in 30 seconds. So whatever caused this plane to crash, presumably wasn't detected during pre-flight checks, didn't appear to interfere with the takeoff itself, but then doomed the plane almost immediately. When an investigator arrives at the scene of a plane crash, there's a whole list of possible explanations that'll run through their heads.
Weather, bird strike, engine failure, fuel supply issue, human error, which hopefully isn't the problem, debris on the runway, for example.
But right away, there are theories that, if we can't quite rule out, we can imagine are among the less likely. For example, there's no evidence at all right now suggesting that this was some kind of attack from outside the plane. There's no war here, no rockets flying. And the weather at the time of the crash, again, nothing obviously unusual. No heavy rain, snow, or reduced visibility. When I look up the registration of this particular plane, I see the year of manufacture, built in 2013. That makes the plane only a little over 10 years old, which isn't old.
11 years old is really not a very old aeroplane at all. So although you would want to make sure that there were no maintenance or technical issues with this specific aeroplane, actually this is the most modern technology that you would expect to fly on.
But then I keep coming back to the way this plane crashed. Again, that slow descent. What can we read into that?
What you see is less of a controlled descent and more trying to keep the aircraft in the best possible position for it to accelerate and to climb. So keeping the wings level, particularly at such a low altitude. But once that aircraft's got to the speed where it takes off from the runway, then we're dependent on things like the flaps, which are a part of the wing that helps it to generate lift as it accelerates through the air and climbs. If those flaps, for example, were not in the right position or had retracted for some reason.
I just want to say that's what I think what happened to the plane. I think the flaps didn't, when the plane lifts up, the flaps have to be extended to give the plane lift. But they're saying that probably the flaps were retracted as possible. And then I noticed that the landing gear still didn't come up during the descent. So that's what I think that's what probably what happened. The reason why the plane probably crashed. It's probably similar distance to the mall. Medellin Airport to Berlin, yeah. When I go work out at the big sports park, there I always see the airplanes coming right above my head to land. That can be annoying. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. And you know what though? I'm gonna tell you something. When I let me tell you something. When I get on these planes, man, this may sound kind of crazy. But I always thank the pilots, man. Because a lot of it has a lot to do with the expertise of the pilots. So you guys wonder, this is the reason why I bring you all this type of stuff, to let you know when you travel abroad, man, it's important to have a good pilot because those pilots have everybody's lives in their hands. And believe it or not, I have flew through very dangerous situations. Very dangerous situations. Yep, I've been in very, very dangerous situations. You know, I flew through hurricanes, flew through storms. You know, I was on a plane back from Medellin. We couldn't land because the storm was too bad, so we had to stay out in the ocean. You know, I've been through a lot of scary situations, you know, dealing with the plane. But that's what I think what happened in this situation. I think that that what happened was I think it was, you know, it was an error between the pilots. Maybe they probably didn't know what they I'm not saying they didn't know what they were doing, but it sounded like it was like a mistake, you know, that was made, or it's possible it could have been engine failure. But I'm not a pilot. I don't know exactly what happened, but I do know that the NTSB is out there. You know, they're gonna go out there and try to find out what happened. You know, why that plane went down like that. But yeah, my prayers goes towards the families and the people that was involved in that crash. You know, that's too bad. You know, so. Yeah, but I always do, man. When I travel, man, I always talk to the pilots like, thank you very much for getting me to my destination, you know, because you got it takes a lot of skill to fly a commercial plane, you know. So that's why I do stuff like this, man. I do content like this. And I got some more stuff I want to share with y'all before I go. You know, I know this is not the booty shaking and women walking around and doing all that stuff, man. I just try to give you all information, you know, that can affect our travel, because I think geopolitics and economics does influence the travel space. You know, if things get out of hand in Israel and Iran, if it turns into World War III, then that can affect us for where we want to go. So that's why I bring you all this type of content. And I got one more on the economic collapse. Then we're gonna go over to the travel space about some other things I want to show you guys. I got this video. It's by Lost in Thailand. That's the name of his channel. I just want to share something with you all. But I just want to share this other stuff with you guys. So that way that you guys will be up on the news. That's why I do it. I want you all to be up on the news. What's going on? That's all entertainment. Everyone wants to be entertained. I know most of people, you know what really sells, what really frustrates me is ass and tits. You go on Instagram right now, that's all you see. And those girls their channels get blown up. Their Instagram channels just get blown up, just showing themselves. Don't have to tell you nothing. Only thing they do, and you know what? That stuff only lasts for a season. It doesn't do anything for the soul. Don't get me wrong. When I go back to Medellin, I'm gonna do content with the Barbie. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't. If you look at all my videos from Colombia, if y'all look at all my older videos from Colombia, not one time do you see all the women that I was with. You never ever see me, you know, following some girl, taking a picture of her ass, or, you know, she's walking around in the street in bikini, all that. I've never done that. I always show respect for those women, because it's not all about that. You know, so I want us to get wholesome things. You know what I'm saying? I want us to learn. I can learn from you. We can learn from each other. Yeah, it does. It does. It does. I get so many, you know, Instagram, guys, it just drives me crazy. I get so many people solicit me on Instagram for OnlyFans. It drives. They friend me. They friend me because they're not really interested in me. They friend me because they want me to link up with their OnlyFans page. That just drives me crazy. You're right. Yes. So, okay, I got one more to show you about the economic collapse. Then we go on into the travel space. I got some information on data I want you guys to see. Check this out. Okay. Now, this situation here that's happening that I want you guys to know is that economically things are getting worse. Stores are closing down. There was a Walgreens right down the street where I live. I've been going there for years. Okay. The other day I drove by there, you know what I'm saying? They had, people was coming in and out of there shopping, buying stuff. It wasn't that many people, but it was a few people going in and out of there, you know what I'm saying? And, on their sign that they have outside the store, they tell you can buy one item, get another item free. Just a normal store. It's Walgreens. I used to get my prescription filled there. I'm not joking. 2 days later, I drive by that same Walgreens and it was empty. They shut it down. They took the signs off and everything. I was like, what the hell happened? What just happened? Lots of food and restaurants has been closing here a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is becoming routine. I'm driving down the street and I'm just seeing empty after empty after empty bill. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I used to go so let me ask you a question. Let's say you're a senior, okay? You're a senior. And you get your prescription filled there. Because a lot of these seniors, they can't drive. They don't have reliable transportation. And these places are in the neighborhoods where they can go get their prescription. Now, you close that pharmacy down. Now they got to go farther out the way to get their prescription filled. Yes. I have been in other sports. Yep. They have several spots around there that have suddenly closed. Yeah. I could drive up and down 7 Mile Road and I'm seeing all these stores are empty. And they used to be full. But this is the reason. Check this out. I got this video for you. Then we're going to jump into travel space.
In June 2024, pharmacy chain Walgreens made a shocking announcement.
They plan to close a significant number of stores. At this point, only 75% of stores bring in what is effectively their revenues and profits.
The iconic chain is rapidly reducing its footprint, with approximately 2,150 locations on the chopping block by 2027. This is just the latest effort by the struggling company to right a ship that has seen a rotating door of CEOs, stagnating profits, and its share price fall more than 55% between January and July 2024. In the Q3 report, CEO Tim Wentworth cited 2 reasons: pressure on the consumer and challenging trends in the pharmacy space.
They don't have infinite time to stabilize this before it's too late.
But Walgreens' problems are just the latest sign of trouble for the entire industry.
CVS has been closing stores all along. Rite Aid is filing for bankruptcy.
So what is happening to American pharmacy chains? How did Walgreens go from record highs to a bottoming stock price in just under a decade? And what does all of this mean for you? In order to better understand the headwinds facing chain pharmacies, we have to separate the store into 2 parts. First, there's front of store, or retail. Your over-the-counter cough medicine, paper towels, makeup, candy bars, that kind of stuff. Then there's back of store, or pharmacy. We'll get to that later. First, let's start where everyone starts, walking in the front door.
Walgreens of today looks very much the same of the Walgreens of yesterday, it hasn't really evolved and adapted.
When it comes to retail, Walgreens is in the midst of a downward slide, seeing a 4% year-over-year decline in Q3, a continuation of a rough few years for its retail segment.
The front of store offer, where the general merchandise is, the beauty products, isn't that good. It often doesn't look very good. The brands that they have aren't very interesting. The prices are often much higher than other destinations. And a lot of people will think, well, yes, I'm here, but why bother paying over the odds?
Every couple of years I hear, here's our new plan for the front end. And it's always some new gimmick and then that doesn't work, and then they don't talk about it anymore.
As inflation squeezes customers, chain pharmacies are struggling to compete with cheaper alternatives, like dollar stores and big box retailers, who offer larger selections and have their own in-house pharmacies.
Particularly our consumer is definitely pressed both from the ongoing inflation that we've seen, albeit it's somewhat moderating, as well as the amount of money that they just have as we move forward.
Now, Walgreens realizes this is an issue and recently announced plans to lower cost on 1,300 front-of-store items. But it might be too little too late, because it's not just the economy that's changed, but the way we shop.
Anybody with a pulse would know what's happening with front end, which is, they're in a pincer movement with Amazon and Walmart getting better and better. They have better price points. The delivery options are getting, quicker and quicker.
Another frequent pain point for retailers, shrinkage or loss of merchandise, often due to damage or theft. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, CEO Tim Wentworth cited high theft locations as a factor in determining which stores would be closing.
Store experience has deteriorated with employee cutbacks and with shoplifting in some locations, as you know.
Absolutely,
locking
Marcus.
the Gillette razors behind the case.
The problem is anti-theft measures aren't popular, as locking necessities behind glass cases doesn't just deter thieves, but it drives away paying customers.
Locking things away behind cabinets is the biggest advertisement for Amazon that you could possibly make, because it just says to the customer, this is a really hard place to shop.
And that's just the headwinds up front.
8 million vaccines this year at the back of the store already. That's a healthcare business, right? That's not just putting pills in bottles.
When it comes to back-of-house operations, pharmacy and health services are Walgreens' largest source of income. In Q3 2024, pharmacy sales made up 76% of Walgreens' U.S. retail pharmacy revenue, and 60% of the company's revenue as a whole. But that's been a declining business for Walgreens, largely thanks to telehealth services and lower reimbursement rates for pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. PBM is a company that acts as an intermediary between your insurance and the pharmacy.
PBM started with the idea of being a claims processor. So when you bring a prescription to the pharmacy can bill the PBM.
The role of PBMs has since expanded beyond just facilitating reimbursements. They also negotiate drug prices with manufacturers, determine which drugs are covered, set copays, set prior authorization criteria, and decide which pharmacies a patient can go to.
And I think where the traditional PBM pricing model fell apart and where there's so much concern is that the entities are being paid to manage drug costs, but typically benefit when drug prices increase, and it creates a misaligned incentive.
The issue for pharmacies is PBMs have been shrinking the reimbursement rates and pushing patients towards generic brands over name brand, a move that helps the PBMs but makes it harder for pharmacies to make money. The FDA now estimates 91% of prescriptions written in the US are for generic brands.
Historically, pharmacies made more money on generic, less money on brands. Is that with the growth, particularly of the GLP-1s for diabetes, the brand volume has increased. And where pharmacies weren't making as much money on brands, as you increase that volume, it creates more and more pressure, reimbursement pressure on the pharmacies.
Currently, the three largest PBMs in the US are CVS Caremark, Cigna.
Yeah, that's really sad, man. I mean, guys, only thing I can tell you to please get ready for the economic collapse, because I'm seeing stores after stores after stores are closing. Red Lobster is in bankruptcy right now. So all these stores that you used to know, that you used to go and shop, they are closed. But see, this is what you have to think about. Okay, you got Walgreens closing all their stores. What are those cashiers going to do? What about those assistant managers? What about those pharmacy techs? What about the actual pharmacists? What about the actual managers? All those jobs been eliminated. I have to catch this live later. I am at a bar watching the NBA. Oh, the NBA final. Well, I'm glad I did get some people here to watch me tonight. I'm gonna try to get done with this as soon as possible. The Indiana Pacers, the Pacers versus the Oakland. Okay, it's done this. Okay, you let me know how it goes, okay? But man, it's good to have you on the live, though, man. Quake, it's good to talk to you, bro. And you keep in contact. Let me know. You got my Instagram. Let me know how things going with the game, okay? It's good to always see you, A. Yeah. But I'm glad you guys came on tonight, man. It's hard to compete. The Knicks is out, and I know you're pissed. Yeah, I'm really pissed too. Yeah, I was hoping that the Knicks would go in, but I've been disappointed so many times about the Knicks. I've been watching the Knicks even back in the days when Magic Johnson and all of them were playing. What's the guy when Patrick Ewing was with the Knicks? That's how far back I go with the New York Knicks. I always wanted to see them go to a championship. I think they've been working so hard, you know what I'm saying? But it seems like they just can't keep it together during the playoffs. Red Lobster less than a month for me closed just when you. Yep, sure did. Yep, they're closing these stores, man. These stores are closing. They are closing. But the thing is, okay, for example, you got this summer. Okay, kids coming out of school, kids graduating from high school, you got people graduating from college. Where are these people going to work if there's no jobs, if everything's closed down? Mr. Guru, what's up, man? John Steyer, Anthony Mason. Yeah, Charles Oakley. Yeah, that was the days. Those were the days. Yes, those were the days. Those are the days when I watched. And during those days, you used to be able to watch the NBA on NBC. You used to be able to watch it on NBC. You didn't have to be jumping from platform to platform to Amazon Prime, ESPN, Fox, NBC, Peacock, to multiple platforms just to watch the playoff game. That's why I don't watch sports as much as I used to, because they just basically, they want you, it's a money thing. Yeah, Earl the Pearl, yeah. No, you really going back into the days, Earl the Pearl with that sky hook. Yeah, I remember Earl the Pearl with that sky hook. Man, that's like back in the 70s, bro. You go way back. Anthony Bonner, yeah. Willis Reed, yep, there you go. Yep, those were the days, man. I used to love because it was free. It was free. You just turn on NBC, you can watch all the playoffs and stuff you want to. But now they just made a mockery out of watching sports. You gotta subscribe to this. We gotta subscribe to that one. You gotta subscribe to this. You gotta subscribe to NBC Peacock. You gotta subscribe to Paramount. You gotta subscribe to ESPN. You gotta subscribe to Fox. When I was following the NFL playoffs with the Lions, I had to sign up with 5 or 6 different type of platforms just to watch the playoffs, because the platform that I was signing up with wouldn't show every game. So it would just bounce around. It's really frustrating. I see why people be getting stuff illegally too. Some of these people got these VPNs that they can, watch all the channels and stuff to play, get all those channels for free and stuff. But NBC had the best. Yes, they did. They had the best leading up to the intro game. It got you out. Yeah, you know what? I hear it in my head. Oh, Chris, I hear it in my head. I know exactly what you're talking. And then you know what I used to like? They would play that song they would play that song, and then when Michael Jordan was playing, all of a sudden when the Chicago Bulls was playing, everything goes right to Michael. They show Michael Jordan shooting free throws. He chewing on some gum and he's shooting free throws. Yeah, those were the days. Yep, those were the days. Okay, now we go. I got a couple of more videos I want to share with you all before you guys go. I know everybody's watching the championship. But I thank all of you all for coming in. I thank everybody for being here tonight. Well, let me share a couple of things with y'all and then we'll end this live. Dating is becoming horrible in the States. It's becoming more and more and more and more, miserable. I want you to listen to what these ladies are talking about. This is what their opinion when they was talking about dating in America. That's why I tell you to travel abroad.
America with dating is that you guys just don't like each other. Like, men say they would rather date internationally, and women say they just not impressed with the guys here. I've spoken with both, and you just guys don't like each other. And I think that's a massive problem. If you don't like the people in your own culture and in your own country, well, like, I don't understand why you guys are so nice here. Like, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. But again, like, the standards are blurred. But
whoa, yeah, I told you, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, the senator was it was an attempted assassination. And the Iranian has been doing some damage. There's conflict between the paramilitary in Iran and the government. Yeah, it is scary. Yeah, there's police stations in Cali. Yeah, police are not safe. Yeah, you have to be really careful. Yeah, I heard about that. So do you think it should be safe to go? Would you still go, Chris?
yeah, you guys just don't like each other. Maybe you should work on that and start liking your own nation and like your own people,
I just moved into this new sublet in Tel Aviv. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, today I want to talk about an observation that I made about dating cultures outside the US and why we are really failing as a society in America. I was traveling for like a month in Greece, Italy, Dubai, and Israel. And because I'm a dating app founder, I always ask people about their dating experiences. And I asked a lot of men, what are the girls like in your country? What's it like to date here? And the thing that I kept hearing over and over, specifically in Italy and Israel, is that the women in their country are very difficult and hard to please. In Israel, for example, a woman will never have sex on the first date. Maybe the third, maybe the fourth. First date, not a thing. I also noticed men in these countries will put so much more effort into taking girls out on dates, into actually getting to know them, and they're more open to having serious relationships. And in a lot of countries outside the US, if you go on just a few dates with someone, it is automatically assumed that you're exclusive. You don't even have to talk about it. In the US, a man can swipe right on a dating app, meet with a girl that same day, and get into her bed that night. So why would he ever want to commit? He has thousands of girls at his disposal that he can have sex with. I totally believe that a woman has control of what she wants to do with her body. I believe sexual experience is very important, but at the same time, I think we are totally shooting ourselves in the foot by being so supportive of sexual liberation. And this goes both ways. Man, woman, gay, straight, the more sexual options you have, the less likely you are to commit, the more likely you are to flake, to ghost, to not be serious about someone. So yes, the women in these countries might be more difficult to please, but what's the opposite of difficult? Easy.
guys do not get upset with me, but I really am under this realization after living abroad in Thailand, South Korea, Mexico, and Spain. Mostly in Mexico.
Okay, let me pause this for a minute. I'm gonna ask you a question. Yeah, I would still go, but wondering, have you given more thought to going to the DR instead to the third strike? I'm gonna tell you this. I understand what you're saying about that, because actually I was looking forward to the DR with that girl I showed you a picture of on my last live. I was looking at a villa that me and her was going to spend some time in together. It was right by the water and everything. But she was a scam. She was a scam. She wanted me to pay to get her stove fixed. I'm not giving you no, I don't know you. I'm not going to send you no money to get your stove fixed. I might as well get a refrigerator and everything fixed. See, like I was telling you on my video, on the last video I did, some of these women, they expect for you to be their savior, that you're going to come in and then you're going to fix everything. Don't fall for that delusion. But the reason why I'm going back to Medellin is because of Barbie. I do really miss Barbie. I talked to her this morning. And one thing I like about her, she has never, not once, since I've been back in the state, have asked for any money or any type of financial support. She hasn't. And when she talks to me, I mean, for someone to be as fine as she is, but not as materialistic or not as a gold digger, that's very rare. So far, she's been really good. He said he wants to go back to Colombia. Yeah. Marcus, yeah, he loves Barbie. Yeah. He needs to commit to Barbie while she's still on the market available. What I got to do is get my money together. I got to get my money together and get a visa to live there in Colombia with Barbie. Arizona. What's up? Arizona's in the house. How you doing, Arizona? Yes, these women, I expect you to solve their problems and pay. Yeah, they expect, yeah. The girl from, I was really looking forward to spending a vacation in the Dominican Republic with this girl. Because we talked every day. She called me every day. You know, I said, hey, how about me coming down to Punta Cana? You can meet me there, because she lived in another spot. She lived kind of deep into the interior of the Dominican Republic. She didn't live in Puerto Plata or Santo Domingo or any of those other places. She lived like in the village, like, you know, where she lived at. So she was going to take a bus from her city to come meet me in Punta Cana. And that would have been great. Because I talked to the Airbnb host. I did talk to her. And she gave me a really good deal for the Airbnb. You know, she said, okay, well, make sure that you reserve it as soon as possible. Because they were sending me emails saying they wanted me to reserve it. But then when Gabby, I'm going to call her Gabby, when Gabby started sending me videos and pictures of her stove, I said, what do you want me to do with this? Oh, well, you know what? I can't cook anything. Me and my son, we have to eat out. We have to eat out every day. We have to get stuff from some street vendors and stuff, because I'm not able to cook anything because I don't have I can't fix my stove. Well, guess what? Before you met me, the stove was broken, right? So you expect for me to fix your stove? Chris, only thing I want you to do is Barbie girl will stand by his side and not let anything phase her. Yeah. Being beautiful, no, I need yo to be 10 toes down. I don't believe she's capable of doing that, okay? Marcus Brandon, that's a good question for every woman. Tony has known her for several years, and the only way to find is to open yourself to prosper with her or to get hurt by her. Well, I won't allow her to hurt me, but I just like being with Barbie. I think one thing about Barbie, I'm gonna tell you about her. One thing about Barbie is that she is very well coordinated. I mean, there's certain things that maybe turn you on about a female, you know what I'm saying, about how they wear their nails. Her feet was perfectly manicured. The lip, I mean, everything was completely, I mean, I'm not saying perfect, but she really puts a lot into her looks, you know what I'm saying? And she's very, and let me pull up a picture of Barbie. Hold on for a second. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I still got one. Let me see. Where is she? Barbie, where are you? Let me see if I can find her. Barbie, where are you? Let's do a picture. Let's see. I don't know what I did with her picture. Wait a minute, hold on. Barbie, where are you? Where are you? Where is she? Let me see if I can find it in this folder. Barbie, where are you? Let me see if I can find it in this folder. I got so many folders here, guys. Just 1 second. Let me see if I can find the picture. Picture. Where is she? Yeah, but you're right, Chris, that this thing that they got going with the Iranian and the paramilitary fighting the police, yeah, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. And they're targeting police officers. And they're targeting government buildings. But I don't think they're going to do anything in Medellin because that is the crown of Colombia. I don't think they would do. Oh, here we go. Here she is. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let me bring her picture up again. Maybe, hold on. Let's see, share screen. Okay, wait a minute, where is she? Wait a minute. Okay, there she is right there. Yep, there she is right there, guys. Wow, wait a minute. I'm getting behind on all my messages. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Chris, I'm going to hit you with something real. It doesn't matter the history or the time. The betrayal is never from the enemy. It's always from the friend. Okay. Let me see. Marcus, that's a good question for every woman. Tony has known her for several years. Okay, yep, okay, we did that one already. Let's see. So that there's a good woman in the DR, but if you only need companionship for a few days, you need money for their time. Otherwise, they need to spend time looking. But see, the difference with me, I'm gonna be honest with you, is that I have to vet the females. I have to vet them. You know what I'm saying? I have to get to know, like with her, we talked a lot. I talked to her for about a couple of years, you know, before I like okay, for example, Susie, for example, y'all know Susie. I talked to Susie for 4 years before we even got together. You know what I'm saying? But the DR, you know, I know you can do that. I know you can do that. You can get companionship for a few days, but they were very expensive too. They were very expensive. You're talking about, I was looking at some of the prices. You know, to date a girl in the DR for a companionship, you was talking about $3,000 US. Whenever she even look out for him like she did for her, us and his other friends, yeah. Almost what if he lost his money, she'd be by her side. You know what? Most women ain't gonna be by your side if you lose your money. You know what, guys? I'm gonna tell you, money what makes the world go around. Money makes the world go around. I don't see her doing that, especially if she finds him replaceable. She'll find another guy. Yeah, they always do. Let's finish see what she's saying.
Because in Spain, especially Madrid, there's a lot of Latinos that live there. Hay muchos Latinos ahí. I've just realized in terms of like the dating culture here, it's not it. It's literally not it. The guys do not know how to be able to show any type of like feeling. People are like really cold in a way. Mm-hmm. They don't say vos sos muy linda, eres muy linda. They don't really like openly express how they feel, as opposed to Argentina, Italy, Spaniards, more or less, but like you're just so used to it, you know what I mean? But coming back here, you guys, oh my God, there's been nothing. Crickets. What is up with this culture?
Yeah, it is.
You're just too focused on like working your ass off to even show any type of sympathy, or sorry, showing like any type of like empathy, feelings, anything. You're so cold in your soul. I feel like I'm back in Germany, you guys.
Never date in the United States of America ever again. It's like the women I'm seeing, and this is before you can say, oh, that's just your experiences. No, we're beyond that point. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing women allow themselves mentally to succumb to this overflooding of mental debris. They actually align their lives with that. It's very clear. They take what they see off the internet and bring it into their real lives with their girlfriends, negativity, environments, or they create chaos and negativity and then go online, search for it, then get offline and try to live it, and then go back online and try to search for negativity. It seems like women hate men.
They do.
Women in the United States of America hate men. There's a young lady, I saw her video and I saved it just for this moment. She's over in Europe. She claims that she's a diehard feminist, right? And she's recanting her feelings about men in the United States of America. She said, ladies, if y'all only know, I'm a diehard feminist, but the men in America are not bad at all. And I had to recognize that until I traveled to different countries. And she said, we got it good. So again, I don't speak in absolutes. So I'm just speaking in a general sense, something that we all can speak from. Like if you had so much experience with dating, marriage, you see couples. I'm in the housing industry. So for 22 years, I've been in housing. I've seen thousands of couples. And it seems like there's a hatred for men. And there's no responsibility on the people that are choosing the men that they choose. There's no accountability. There's no, let me take on, Let me let myself get away for a while. Let me not listen to negativity. See, when I get online, I want intellectual, like, I gravitate to that. Let's go to something that's going to enrich the mind, intellectual enrichment. And the more I see it, the women that are young women that are 18, 19, 20, in their 20s, leading with drama and nonsense and saying anything and over-sexualization. They're leading women that are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. This is sad. This is a sad day. When the youth are the ones that are becoming the focal point for adult women to mimic them. So, this is just my conjecture. This is why I won't date again. And I'm talking about strictly from a dating and marriage standpoint. I'm not talking about anything else in this particular video. I'm looking at the actions of like well over adult women who have children in their 20s trying to mimic them or in feuds with them, or there's some type of vitriol, or it's just crazy. And for us to think that we can't say anything, we just got to sit back. I'm dating and married.
Yep, I understand exactly what he's talking about. The dating situation in America is at an all-time low. That's why I say get your passport and get the hell out. Get out. Let me tell you, I told you guys this. I told you since I've been back in the States from Colombia, I have not been on one date. Not one. I find the women to be very cold. Not all, I'm not saying all are bad, but a lot of them are very cold. You speak to them, they don't speak back, most of them. Yep, when you try to like talk to them or anything like that, they just walk by like they don't even see you. It's really sad. It is really sad. Let's see here. Yep, it's really, really, really sad. So yes, Chris, I'm still going, even though there is a danger of going, but I'm still going. I'm still going. Let's see. Oh wow, we still got a lot of messages. I'm sorry. Someone needs to lock her down. It's not what break if she stop answering his texts. No, it won't break. It won't break. Why don't you think? Because she is not the material. Okay. Can you turn a model into a housewife? Well, it all depends on the female. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. Let's see, stop sharing this. It all depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not the same. Tony, I think something could happen in a minute. You think so, like Central or Poblado, if someone wanted to make a statement. Oh, the crown of Colombia is Cartagena, actually. Okay. I mean, hey, Chris, do you think it's really going to go this far? Do you think it's really going to go that far in Colombia with this, with the paramilitary, Iranian, and the government? Oh my God. Yes, I did vet Barbie. Yes. You have to vet him. Yeah. And most of the private women are wearing masks in disguise. Tony needs to take a chance with Barbie if she is more than a friend. Otherwise, you can go to other countries and find more friends at the end of the day from my experience. Yeah. These girls from Colombia, they still scope people more than their ears. Your one's playing your heart out. She's planning upon your death. They're trying to make you that money you gave them to which ones to go for you. I'm not talking about exploiting the city. I'm talking about making sacrifices. Marcus, yeah, well, women can't harm you, but all you can do is vet as possible, right? See, Marcus, okay, wait a minute. I've had women and met multiple times in Colombia, months apart, that I traveled with to other cities and countries that never harmed me. Yeah, there you go, that never harmed me. But being honest, there are only a few women like that really trust me. You know, Marcus, I'm gonna give you some advice. Marcus, sometimes you seem like that you're looking for something to go wrong. I mean, you can't live your life, you know, in fear. You can't live your life in fear. I mean, there's always a possibility of something could happen anywhere. For example, I just showed you a video about the plane crash, right? I showed you a video about the plane crash. I bet you those people did not have any thought that their lives would be ending that day on that plane. When it's your time, it's your time. I want you to listen to this, Marcus. You gotta get out of that fear mongering. I mean, well, I'm not saying you're fear mongering, but you gotta get out of that, like, oh, this can happen. She can do this. They can do that. Yeah, that's true, but you can't live your life in fear. You can't do it. You can't do it. I simply refuse to live in fear. Oh, wow, I got more to go. Okay, Chris was a paranoia about them scoping you, or you met them in a more safer battle like a romance tour. Yeah. Marcus, I met most of Tinder or Colombian Cuba. You know what? I want you two to make sure you guys I want to make sure that you guys exchange Instagram information too. See, most already I have one kid too, so they were a single mom. What is the worth? Yeah. Tony, I hope it does not go that far, but like in 2020, they had some similar situations going on in Colombia in several cities with unrest, so you never, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's funny because a guy I know from Medellin, he said that he got friends where lots of them met in Colombia, Cuba, Tinder. Well, they have been programmed not to use it. Yeah. That's why I say it's good to visit a few other countries as a backup plan just in case things goes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I understand what you're saying. If it wasn't for Barbie, I wouldn't be going. This rough field was mostly escorts in Medellin. The other Colombian say it's very good, but again, you have to vet to talk to these ladies. When you meet them, like ask them about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Live with the stuff like that to see that they have to lose by doing something crazy. Yep, absolutely. Arizona, it's like safer in Panama than you can find Colombian, Venezuelan women. Yeah, I received nothing but great reports from friends there. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about Panama too. I'm not scared. I just don't want the trouble. Don't worry. You gotta let that fear go, Marcus. I've been told many times that you can't trust. See, you can't go with that attitude. You can't go with that attitude because that's fear mongering, basically. But I got this last video I want to show you guys before I leave the live. I seen this video on this guy called Lost in Thailand. And this is the reason why I tell people that before you go to any country, you should know the rules and the laws and stuff of a country, because you can think that you're doing something so right, but you be doing something so wrong. So I want you, this is the last video of the live today. I hope you guys got something out of my lives. I only got 3 people left in this live, so since you guys wait, I'm gonna show it to you all, okay? Subscribe to this guy's channel. I got his link in my description, okay? Called Lost in Thailand. And he laid out some rules that you really have to be careful for. Be careful for in Thailand. I did not know this. I did not know this. So check this out, what he says. And then we're gonna end this live. Here we go.
Neon lights flicker, music thumps, perfume and beer hang in the air. Girls wave you in with playful smiles. You're not just a tourist anymore, you're part of the show. Everything feels cheap, easy, inviting. A drink here, a dance there. What could possibly go wrong? More than you think. Thai bars are a fantasy on the surface, but a minefield underneath. Unwritten rules, hidden costs, dangerous smiles. And if you break the wrong one, you won't even realize it until it's too late. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being prepared, because the next mistake could cost you your money, your dignity, or your freedom. Here are 15 brutal mistakes foreigners make inside Thai bars. If you recognize yourself in even one of them, consider this your warning. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, so you never miss the next story that could save you a fortune. Rule 1. Don't touch her without clear permission. She smiles. Short dress, perfect hair. She sits next to you. You're drinking, you're relaxed. You casually place your hand on her leg or back, a small gesture. She doesn't react at first, but suddenly her mood changes. Another girl appears, then another. Face is serious. You're confused. Here's the rule. No physical contact unless she invites it. This isn't a nightclub. This isn't a date. It's a transaction-based environment. Touching a working girl without consent? Or a black eye. And if she's under someone's protection, you might find yourself escorted out, or worse. Rule 2, don't buy her a drink without asking the price. She leans in close. Can you buy me a drink? You nod. Sure. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. That's not a regular drink. That's a lady drink. It's her paycheck. You thought it would be 150 baht? The bill says 350. Or 500. Sometimes 700. And she's already ordering another. She might not even finish it. A sip or two, then on to the next one. You're paying. Again and again. You think she likes you? She likes your wallet. And if you stop buying, she'll vanish in seconds, or worse, act offended and create a scene. Rule 3. Don't flirt with a free girl. She might not be free at all. You see a beautiful girl sitting alone. You walk over, start a conversation. She smiles.
Wow.
You're hitting it off until a guy steps in. Client, regular, sponsor. He sits beside her, gives you a look, and it's not friendly. Then his friends show up. You're confused, but you just broke a silent rule. She wasn't alone. She was already claimed. She might be waiting for bar fine, just finished with another guy, or under protection. Doesn't matter. You didn't ask the bar staff. You made an assumption. Now you're one bad reaction away from getting dragged out, or worse. Rule 4. Don't sit down without asking. It might cost you.
I didn't.
She waves you over.
Know all these rules.
You sit beside her. She smiles, maybe touches your shoulder. You didn't order anything. Just hanging out, right? Wrong. You stand up later, and the staff brings a bill. Girl time fee. Sitting charge, 1,000 baht. What? You didn't order anything? Doesn't matter. In hostess bars, just sitting with a girl is a service. Didn't know? That's your problem. And if you don't want to pay, the big guy near the wall will help you understand the rules. Rule 5. Don't take her out without paying the bar fine. You've been talking for hours. She's sweet. She leans close. You ask, "Want to go with me?" She smiles. You talk to mama.
Wow.
You walk to the manager and hear the number. 500, 1,000, maybe 2,000 baht. That's the bar fine. You're not paying for sex. You're paying the bar to release her for the night. Don't pay, she stays. Try to skip the process, that's theft in their eyes. And you really don't want to know what happens next. Rule 6. Never argue about the bill, especially not here. You've had a few beers, bought her a drink or two, nothing crazy. Then the bill arrives, 4,300 baht. You stare. That can't be right. This is wrong, you say. The staff smiles. No mistake, you pay. You argue, raise your voice, and suddenly, someone taps your shoulder. Not a waiter, not a customer. A big guy, maybe two, standing silently. You're not in your country anymore. Arguing won't help you. Paying is faster, safer. Next time, check the prices first, or leave before ordering.
Oh my God.
Rule 7. Don't take photos or videos. It can turn ugly fast. You want to capture the moment. Neon lights, loud music, beautiful girls, perfect for Instagram, right? You pull out your phone, snap a selfie, maybe record a few seconds, and then a tap on your shoulder. Not gentle, not friendly. A girl is glaring at you. Behind her, a man, maybe two. They say one word. Delete. You just filmed someone who didn't want to be seen. Maybe a girl who has a boyfriend. Maybe a married customer. Maybe someone with connections. Privacy is serious here. People have been beaten, fined, or worse, just for recording in the wrong bar. Never film without permission. Don't post, don't tag, don't risk it. One wrong photo can cost far more than you think. Rule 8. Don't flash your cash. You're painting a target on your back. You just cashed out 20,000 baht from the ATM. You step into the bar, pull out your wallet, start peeling off notes. You're feeling generous, maybe even a little proud. You think they're impressed. They are, just not in the way you think. Everyone saw. The bartender, the girls, the quiet guy sitting by himself near the wall. And now you're the perfect mark. You might not notice it right away. Maybe a girl gets extra friendly. Maybe someone bumps into you by accident outside. Maybe you get back to your hotel and realize something's missing. This isn't paranoia. This is how it starts. Keep your money out of sight. Bring only what you plan to spend. And never ever brag about what's in your wallet. Rule 9. Don't get drunk. You're not in your territory. The drinks are cheap. The girls keep smiling. The music is loud. You lose track of time and shots. You think you're having the night of your life until you can't find your phone or your wallet or your way back to the hotel or the girl you came in with. In Thai bars, getting too drunk isn't funny. It's dangerous. You're in an unfamiliar place. You don't speak the language. And when you're stumbling, slurring, or passing out, you become easy prey. Girls might steal from you. Other customers might scam you. Security might throw you out. Or worse, hand you over to the cops if you cause a scene.
Wow. Yeah, this was interesting to me, man. I didn't know that Pattaya, you had to, when you had to strip, that you had to really be careful. That's why I tell you guys always, whatever country that you visit, really know the, know the do's and don't do's. Because you could be thinking you're doing something right, but you be doing something wrong. That is really scary there. I didn't know it was that serious, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, man. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it, Willie Brown. Thank you so much, brother. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me see. Hope you didn't come across anyone wrong way. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I think I missed. Okay, I see. Oh, Gringo Honey. Okay. Okay, trust me. I'm not a fan of a lot of them because they expose things. Okay. Hope I didn't come across any wrong way, Tony. No, you're fine. I just don't want you to live in fear, Marcus. I don't want you to live in fear. This guy is trying to sound like a storyteller. Yeah. But I heard some things about Thailand you gotta really be careful of too. Marcus, you just have to visit Colombia. Go salsa dancing is the good way to meet women organically. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. Meet them at their job, whether at a mall. Right. Matter of fact, you know what? I got some content on my GoPro in Medellin. I'm gonna share it with you all about a good place where you can meet women generically. I'm talking about good ones. The mall is, man, I'm telling you. The hotel I was staying in, I walk to the mall, and that mall just be full of women. Full of women. One thing about women, they love to shop. And for me, it's not to look at a big butt, boobs. It's about being a good person no matter what. Nothing makes her fall or give her materialistic things to do. Yep. Mm-hmm. Marcus, keep in mind that if you're on vacation with 5 days, got a job, they will not have time to meet. Yeah, that's absolutely. Some women work 5 to 6 days a week. Yep, on Sundays and one day up. Absolutely. I met one like that. Yep. She worked every single day. Sure did. Excuse me, I'm sorry. If I disrespect you guys, Chris, Tony. No, you didn't disrespect me. I just don't want you to live in fear. I want you to always, like, this can happen, anything can happen. You can walk across the street and get hit by a car. I mean, I'm serious. I was reading an article the other day. There was a young woman that was taking a bath. Okay? She was taking a bath. She got up out of the tub, slept, it hit her head, and she died. Her boyfriend found her on the floor. Just like that. That's good perspective. I'm saying good people get taken advantage of. Yep. Well, you just make sure that you're not being taken advantage of, okay, Marcus? No, you're not disrespected, no. I just want you to be careful. That's all. Marcus, the women look at a lot of different in Montezalas and Bogota versus women in Medellin, Cartagena, and Bacaranda, the Amazon, etc. It's a night and day being real about it. Lots of laugh. Yeah. Yeah, I was supposed to be going to visit Montesalas too when I was there too, Chris. But everything is about, but some of these girls you gotta watch, it's about the money, you know. So. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to end this live. There's only 3 people on this live so far. Everybody has left. Yeah, yep. Hey, Chris, I think you and Marcus need to hook up. I think the next time when you go to Colombia, bring Marcus with you. Hey, Terrell, what's up, man? How are you? Excuse me. What's up, brother? The last time I was in Colombia, this is 2025, I was there. I went there twice in 2023. I went there in June, and then I went again in October for Halloween. I want to go back there either between July or August. I keep having to put it off because financially things are so bad in the States. Things are bad in the States. Terrell, it's good to see you. I don't see you very much. Yeah, Terrell, welcome to my channel, brother. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, please come back on, man. You're welcome here, man. I'd love to hear some of your experiences in Colombia. Please come back, okay? It's good to see you. Yeah, Terrell. I know it's been a while, so hopefully your channel... Yeah, it's growing. I'm up to 1,600 subscribers. I need a favor from you guys, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, and any of you guys that hear this video, please share, man. I want the video to grow. I'm gonna tell you what's been a little frustrating about this channel. What's happening is people are watching this channel. The watch time is really high. I got over close to, just this month, I have 350 hours of watch time. 350 hours of watch time. So YouTube has been promoting my videos very well. They doing their job. But the problem is people are watching my videos, but they're not subscribing to it. I don't know why. Yeah, it's growing a little bit, but it should be much higher than what it is. People are watching my videos because the watch time shows it. Yep. It's really weird. I mean, people are watching my videos because the watch time has been good. You know, so the views has been good. But people are not subscribing to my channel. I don't know why. Because if you have a channel that is not doing, has lame content or content that people don't want to see, they're not going to watch it. Right? If you have a channel that people don't want to watch, if you have videos that people don't want to watch, they're not going to watch your videos, which can affect your watch time hours, affect your views. You know what I'm saying? It affects all that. But the problem is, people are watching this channel. They're watching it. YouTube sends me my analytics every month, and I look at it, I say, wow, the watch time is high. The public watch time is doing very well. YouTube is promoting my videos, but people are not subscribing. That's what's weird, you know. And I'm not the only one that said that. I know that other content creators are saying the same thing. Your live stream on your friends disappearing hits 2,000, 10,000 views. I don't understand what you're talking about, Marcus. You said your live stream on your friend disappearing hit 10,000 views. Yeah, my friend disappeared. Yeah. Okay, I understand what you say. I'm sorry. Yeah. I keep posting when I go back to Colombia. I have no fear as long as you use just use common sense. That's all you do. Common sense. But you know what, Terrell, was really got me, Marcus, is what Chris was talking about is there is beef. There's a beef between the ELN, the paramilitary, and the government. They're fighting again. So there have been terrorism that's been going on in Colombia, like in Cali and in on the West Coast, like in, let me see, there was one that happened in Barranquilla. There was a police station that was blown up that unalived some police officers. So like the fighting is starting again. So yeah, you have to really be careful, you know, when that situation. So I don't know how bad this is going to get, but I just hope that they don't come into Medellin or in Cartagena and start doing malicious type of stuff, because that would really hurt the tourism really bad. It would really hurt the tourism. So yeah, that is kind of scary, because the last time I was there, I didn't have that problem. But now they're talking about there's like a civil, I won't call it a civil war, but it's the paramilitary NLN and Colombian government military is like have beef and they're fighting. And the paramilitary is striking police stations, police, government officers, police officers are being unalive. And one of the senators, he was almost unalive too. So yeah, you gotta make sure if you go there, you gotta be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, just make sure you be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, it happened in Bogota. Yeah, it happened in Bogota. Yeah. Yeah. So, Terrell, let me ask you a question. Where in Bogota did this happen at the attack? Was it at a police station? Yeah, keep me posted. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think it did happen at a police station. Yep, so yeah, you gotta use common sense. Yeah, you better use common sense. Yep, and be aware of your surroundings. Yep, be aware of your surroundings. Okay, anybody got anything else to say before I close this live in 2 minutes? See, yes, the candidate for president got shot a week ago. Yeah, he sure did. His wife said that he's fighting for his life. And they said, I think it was done by a 15-year-old. Wow, that is messed up. Yeah. But you know what? Maybe like Chris was saying, maybe the Dominican Republic would be the best place to go, Because if I hear between the time now, if I hear anything else going down, if I hear anything else going down over there, then maybe you're right. Maybe it's not safe to go if this thing gets any worse. It's a shame. Colombia is a very beautiful country. I love that country, but sometimes it seems like they at war with themselves. And that can hurt business investments for them too, if that type of thing is going on down there. So okay, Marcus, Chris, all of you guys, Arizona, thank you guys for coming on the channel. And I will see you guys. I think I'm gonna have a video probably this week that I'm gonna have out about female safety, Gotta be careful with these crazy men out here, ladies. You gotta be careful. Especially the situation that happened in Vegas. That was very sad. So, all right, guys. Thank you for coming again, and I will see you guys on the next live. And thank you again, Mr. Willie Brown, for the Cash App. Thank you so much again for the Super Chat. Thank you so much, my brother. You are the best. Okay, keep me in contact, Terrell. And let me know. I'm on Instagram also at TonyMa40. Okay, I'll put my Instagram in my description, okay? All right, peace, guys. Y'all be safe out here on the weekend, okay? Stay safe. All right.